Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. Welcome to another edition of the State of the NFL. And come on in, have a seat because we have some things that we need to discuss. We're going to be talking about running back Quinshon Judkins getting arrested for domestic violence, man. Now, this story to me is oh my goodness, man. It's so frustrating, man. It is extremely frustrating. But before I get into this, I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of the backstory leading up to this. It took place on Saturday, July the 12th, 2025. Broward County authorities responded to a delayed battery complaint in Fort Lauderdale at approximately 9 a.m. and determined that the battery had occurred on July the 7th. Now, Judkins was taken into custody and charged with a misdemeanor domestic battery, touch, or strike. Now, under Florida statute 784.3 with domestic violence enhancement. So, they got levels to it. His bond was set at 2,500 and was released from Broward County Jail on Sunday, July 13th, after a bond hearing. Conditions include no contact with the alleged victim and no firearm access. Now, his first court appearance, once again, was scheduled for, if you're watching this, on Sunday, which is today. And, it's according to records. So, Quinshon Judkins was a second-round draft pick for the Cleveland Browns, pick number 36. And this is a guy that the Cleveland Browns was expecting to be an integral part of their offense. I mean, nobody needs to tell anyone how talented Quinshon Judkins actually is. I mean, this is a talented guy. I mean, when he was coming out, I was like, man, this guy might be the best running back that's coming out of this draft. And that's saying a lot from the talent that you have, like with guys like Aston Genty and Murray and Howard, and all these other guys that that were a part of a really deep draft. And Quinshon Judkins is no slouch. And everything that you were hearing or was hearing from Cleveland's OTAs, everyone was talking about how good this guy was going to be, how much talent that he possesses, and how much of a safety valve he's going to be for any quarterback that will be starting for the Cleveland Browns. But unfortunately, there's a little bit of a setback. Now, the most frustrating thing about this, because look, I gotta be real. The most frustrating thing about this is we see this stuff so many times, like over and over and over and over and over again from these athletes. And you would honestly think that they will actually learn their lessons from these situations. I just don't get why they put themselves in these type of situations. Rather, you're innocent or not. Why are you putting yourself in this situation? Because you will never look good in this situation. I think about just the reputation of a football player. Or, your job as a running back is to take your shoulder and drive it into the defender and basically just lay them on their behind. You have to run the ball with reckless abandon and have a level of physicality and brutality about yourself. And when these type of situations come up, that's what people see. That's what they think of. They think of you as a barbarian, regardless of if you are innocent or not. And this is a guy in Quinshon Judkins who is trying to negotiate a contract because he's a second-round pick who has not signed his rookie deal. Because you're looking around the landscape of the National Football League, you got guys like Carson Schwarzenegger, his teammate, who was picked a couple places before him. Then you got Jaden Higgins, who's the wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Both of these guys receive guaranteed money. Now you're looking at a lot of second-round picks around the National Football League who haven't gotten paid because they're trying to negotiate deals where they get guaranteed money. And he completely just took all the leverage that he had. Now, credit to Quinshon Judkins. Credit to the brother for showing up, going out there playing, being a part of practice, despite the fact that he has no contract. Still out there giving it his all and doing what he needs to do in order for him to be up to speed if he just so happens to be that starter running back, which he should be. Because the Cleveland Browns, they got rid of Nick Chubb, and, because not that there's anything wrong with, Chubb. I thought that he was talented. I think that he deserved, another opportunity with the Cleveland Browns. Of course, he ended up getting hurt, and, they decided to move on. But, I mean, by them deciding to move on from Chubb, you're the guy. And now, what is your agent going to use as leverage? And it's well within the Cleveland Browns' rights to say, you know what, man, we don't want to deal with this situation. Because here's the reality. More than likely, he's going to get suspended. Well, there's no more than likely about it. He will be suspended. It's just a matter of when. If they put that charge out there, they're saying that, touching of any kind or hitting or anything, like that shows you that you put your hands on the female. And, now you're going to have to, now you got to deal with the consequences. Look, I'm not going to act like I don't understand what it's like to be a rich, successful 20-plus-year-old kid, right? You go from, even though you got NIL deals and all that kind of stuff, but you go from achieving a dream that you aspired to do and pursue since you were a kid. You finally get there, right? And now everything is at your disposal. Everything's at your fingertips. It takes a very well-rounded, down-to-earth person to be able to compartmentalize with the newfound successes of being a professional athlete. That's why, it's man, you got to give props to a lot of these guys who come in with a lot of fanfare and they're able to do the right things from start to finish throughout their careers, because I'm pretty sure it's not easy when you can get virtually anything that you want. I just want these athletes to understand and know that, man, you're not going to come out looking your best. And we all know about the court of public opinion, right? I mean, they can have a story that comes out and it completely absolves them. Nobody cares. It's about the reputation. And I got to say this about the Cleveland Browns organization. I am sorry. I know you're not an organization that, you basically just go out there, you evaluate the talent and you bring them in and you hope that they can actually bring something to your team. But the Cleveland Browns, my goodness, I mean, do they know how to pick them? It just seems like there is very little leadership on that football team. Andrew Berry, who has been the general manager of the Cleveland Browns since 2020, and it just seems like they have had so many players that have had run-ins with the law. And, that just comes, with not having a proper leadership around these guys, man. And, Andrew Berry, like I said, I know that his job is to evaluate the talent. He brings in talented guys, but, man, you got to be able to get these guys surrounded by some positive influences. You got to be able to make sure that these guys are, are staying focused on the goal. And I understand that you can't be around these players 24/7, but you got to believe that they're going to make these right decisions, and you got to give them opportunities and things that will help them to make right decisions. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with Quinshon Judkins. I'm pretty sure his career will not be over, but this is something that, now the Cleveland Browns can easily just say, like, okay, man, you wanted to negotiate a contract, but look what happened. And now, once again, you don't have any leverage at all. So, I mean, I feel really bad for the guy because, the Cleveland Browns, they were counting on this guy to come in, make plays, and be a presence in on their offense. And right now, you don't know who the quarterback is for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you got a bunch of quarterbacks on the roster, right? You got Kenny Pickett, you got Joe Flacco, of course, you got Shadur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, I mean, Deshaun Watson's still out there somewhere, but you got all of these quarterbacks on your roster. Somebody is going to start, but you need that running game. You got talented guys at the wide receiver position. You got David Njoku out there. He's still a very talented tight end. Jared Judy. He had a really huge season last year. He's looking to build on that, build off of that season. So, and he also defensively, of course, you got Myles Garrett out there. Still the leader of the team, and a lot richer. So, look, the Cleveland Browns just have to figure it out, man. They got to put a really good infrastructure around these players, because this is just absolutely embarrassing, man. And I'm just hoping for the day. I'm just hoping for the day that these young players just make better decisions, man, because you're always going to be under a microscope, man, and there's going to be individuals out there that are looking at you as an opportunity, like the opportunity to be able to get something out of you. And I'm not saying that this is the situation, but man, you cannot put yourself in harm's way like that. You cannot put yourself in that position, man. You got to think about where you are, who you are, and what do you want out of your life. And we've seen this time and time again. One bad decision just completely destroys a career of a player. And this guy's too young and he's too talented to let situations like this, man, like just get in his way and stun his growth. So hopefully this is going to be a learning experience for not just Quinshon Judkins, but a lot of these young players out here, man, to not put themselves in this type of situation, because just not a good look. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about Quinshon Judkins? What do you think about the situation? How do you think this is going to pan out for him? Do you think that he still will get a contract that could possibly be guaranteed? Comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the NFL. My name is Timothy J. Jones. So please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Till next time, I'll see you down the road.